Growing up, my mum worked extremely hard to make ends meet, and as we got older, nothing stopped. Mum just kept working as hard as anyone I know, and I guess when you see that every day, that becomes part of your world. And then when I finally got to go into the workforce, that's just what I thought was expected of everyone. My name's Ben Hayman, I'm a horticulturist, and today we're in one of the gardens I look after in the Southern Highlands. It sounds a bit airy-fairy, but I genuinely do feel connected to the garden, and it's hard to describe. It's not just one thing, it's the colours, the textures, the smells, how they propagate, how you can propagate, how they die, how they regenerate. There's so many elements of the garden that I feel connected to.
Is there more?
I found a good one.
Yeah. Oh, I nearly got my finger.
One of my earliest memories actually is when I was young. I would have been about 8 or 9. Mum gave me a honeysuckle plant, and it wasn't much of a plant at all, but I really felt sort of connected to the plant because it was the first thing I'd ever had that was living. I'd never had any pets or anything before, and I really did nurture that honeysuckle, and without sort of knowing, I feel like my nature is, I'm sort of like a nurturing, caring guy, and I should have gone down that road straight out of school, but I didn't. But full circle, I've ended up back there. Growing up, I had a pretty turbulent upbringing when I was younger. I lived with my 2 brothers and my single mother. We moved around a lot, went to quite a few different schools. It was not easy on Mum, and even from a young age I could see that. Then she met my stepfather, which is the kindest, sweetest, hardest working man you've ever met in your life, and things calmed down and settled down for us a lot, which was really nice. They've always been very loving, very caring, and a big part of who I am today is because of who they are. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be a dad. And that's probably a weird thing for a young guy to want, but I just always did. And my wife, Georgie, she's the same. From a very young age, we both just wanted to be parents. I have three little ladies. I've got identical twin girls, Miller and Evie. They're 5 years old, big school next year. And a 2-year-old Hallie, who thinks she runs the house. They're such beautiful little people, and I honestly could not be happier having 3 little daughters. I really do feel like my life's complete with 4 ladies, my wife and my 3 daughters. So I feel like a very lucky guy.
Hey Miller, what do you love most about Daddy?
That I like to help him gardening.
That's a nice answer.
And Evie, what do you love most about Daddy?
Giving him kisses.
Oh, do you?
To be honest, I wasn't always interested in horticulture, and to be fair, I didn't even know I could have a career working in the garden. And as a young guy who knew he didn't want to be at school either, a mechanic's apprenticeship come up that was about 1 kilometre from my house, so I just thought I'd take that on and ended up becoming a qualified mechanic and didn't really love it. I knew it wasn't for me, and I had a mate that was working in horticulture and I used to get so jealous of what he used to do. So one day I just thought I'd bite the bullet and decided to study horticulture. And I was lucky enough to find a job with a local gardening company that was only 15 minutes drive away from home, and from there I've gradually learnt more, and as I've learnt more I've appreciated more, and as I've got older I've really become passionate about gardening, and I'm really grateful that I made that decision 15 years ago, because I'll be in this industry for the rest of my life. I absolutely love it. Now I'm lucky enough to run my own business, The Garden Keeper. I employ 4 people and we look after 5 gardens around the Southern Highlands. The gardens we do look after are beautiful, so we all feel super fortunate. We cover all elements from weeding to pruning to propagating, and the team I work with, we all get along really well, so it makes work even more enjoyable. Another highlight of my job is working with Hoselink. I swear they didn't pay me to say that, but it's just opened a whole other door of horticulture that I never expected. I now have a platform that I can share knowledge and teach people about gardening and horticulture, and I think it's really important for people to get outside and enjoy the garden, so I'm really grateful for that. My relationship with Hoselink started around 2 years ago through Instagram, where I started trying some products for them. And then out of nowhere, they asked me if I wanted to be in front of a camera, and here we are. I'm not going to lie, the Hayman household is complete chaos. Running your own business, working on Hoselink content, my wife runs her own business, and then raising 3 little girls is hard work, to say the least. We just work together as a team to get through it, but probably the most important thing overall is to make sure the beer fridge is full. All jokes aside, I'm really grateful to have this platform. The fact that I can teach people gardening and encourage them to get out in nature really does mean a lot. I do genuinely think that that's where we all should be, and it gives you a feeling that you can't get anywhere else. So we finished?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Good. By the way, why do gardeners plant bulbs?
I don't know.
So the worms can see where they're going. What?
Use lemon.